Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 8th and final round of Swiss of the Pro Play Tour Invitational here in Orlando, Florida. I'm Alex Simo, joined by Mr. Joseph Rothschild. And we have a deck that finally we've been wanting to feature, and it's Altergeist.
You know, this deck, I think, was assumed by a lot of people to be the best deck in the format, you know, about 8 minutes before they remembered that SPYRAL was legal. But we somehow did not run into it all day. It's been at top tables. A couple of pilots are repping it, one of which is currently on the bubble in our match. That's Tavon Crowley.
Yeah, so Altergeist, what's really funny is I remember the old days of playing SPYRAL and like Geist was just kind of like getting like in its prime. It was kind of like pre-ish multi-faker, but like it was kind of like around. It was a weird time, but yeah, SPYRAL against back row decks, Tough as an Agent are just like two incredibly good cards for dealing with back row decks.
So strong.
But Geist, surprisingly, has the second highest representation of every deck in this tournament. For those of you just joining us, we had, tentatively, we're still trying to finalize the numbers, 33 SPYRAL, 14 Altergeist, 12 Orchist, 8 Pendulum, 5 Lunalight, 4 Block Dragon Burning Abyss, 4 Cyber Dragon, and the rest are all 3 and under, so that's what we'd probably put in the other category.
For what it's worth, Altergeist also has the highest representation after SPYRAL, of course, in the top tables. I've been taking walks around, and really it's just a huge sea of SPYRAL, as I've described in chat to those of you in the break, with a couple of little smatterings of individual decks. Altergeist has at least 2 pilots who are potentially making it out.
And the thing is, when it comes to SPYRAL, we have another SPYRAL player. This is Elise Davis playing SPYRAL. But the thing is, it's a little bit different because it's actually on Extravagance. This is a build that I'm not sure if Cody Angeloff conceptualized it initially, but apparently there's a bunch of people here playing this Extravagance-oriented build. Extravagance only really hinders the effect of Magician's Souls, but other than that, SPYRAL doesn't need a thick extra deck. You actually have a lot of wiggle room, so you can play like multiple double helixes. You can play multiple Appaloosas, which I think is like really excessive from the budget standpoint. But you can play a lot of like cards in multiples that are the only key cards that you need, and just do just fine. Now, obviously, the jury's still out on if this is the better build, the Danger variant or the Scrap variant, but nonetheless, I think it's cool that we've kind of seen all the mix once we feature this match. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into your 8th and final feature match.
So what I find interesting about Extravagance SPYRAL specifically is that Extravagance, I think, was conceptualized by Konami as a card to help control decks that don't use their extra deck compete against extra deck focused toolbox decks. So it's frustrating to see it pop up in extra deck focused toolbox decks.
Ooh, Geist is going first. Okay.
Oh, that's terrible news for Elise.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think a lot of people wouldn't exactly think Extravagance and SPYRAL initially. Obviously, you'd think about an Altergeist because it's like one of the best cards in their deck. But nonetheless, it's fascinating because it's like it gives you more cards, it gives you more potential to combo, and I think most importantly, and why there are some players on this particular build, it gets you to Souls quicker.
Yeah.
And you don't, even though you miss out on the pitch 2, draw 2 of Souls, it doesn't matter because Souls just does so much for you regardless. You don't care about having to pitch those spells and traps. You get so much value just off Souls in general that any way to turbo into Souls is enough. Now we see Tavon going with a Altergeist Meluseek. He's going to immediately link that off for a Link Karibo, triggering it to get a multi-faker, I would imagine, unless he already has one in hand.
In which case he'll probably get a Marionetter. For what it's worth, that sounds like the inception of Souls into the SPYRAL list has basically breathed new life into the archetype, but it is just a 3 of. It's just 3 cards that you can't draw every time. Like, this is the list that recognizes the only reason the deck is competitive in this meta is because of Souls, and attempts to turbo it as best it can, playing cards that draw you because it's not particularly searchable.
So we have 3 set from Tavion, and now we got the Soul start. That's
here we
pretty
go.
good. Now, the thing is, when it comes to this, even without Souls actually, like even if this doesn't resolve, right? If Elise just has some sort of like tough agent or like a one or the other, like that's good enough to just start picking apart these back row and just easily clearing, you know, what Tavion might have to work with here. Again, in game one, tough is typically a one-of for Spiral. Sometimes they side into more copies. I don't know their particular lists, but I remember back in the day that was like kind of one of the strategies. But now we see here, this is a very good start. You have Magician Souls plus Foolish Burial Goods, which is full combo.
It is full combo. I'm excited to see if she's even going to activate the effect of Souls. It seems very possible that, potentially the way you lose the game is by accidentally mining yourself on Souls versus... Ooh, an exceptional blowout like that.
Right, so compulsory evacuation device. This is pretty good. So now Tavion gets to bounce the compulsory back to Elise's hand, and that just ended her turn. And we get the multi-faker resolution as well because of the compulse. This is where Tavion could actually just start to take control of the game. If we have like a Marionetter in hand, or just the ability to start like getting into Hextias, like this game's over.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you were to make something like a Hextia here and lock out your opponent from spell and trap cards, I mean, how are they possibly going to resolve a resort over the course of the turn?
And the thing is with Tavion as well, I believe he also had a Solemn Judgment in his back row as well. So that's just like an insurance policy. And it looks like Alice actually isn't passing the turn here because there was the... wait, is she discarding for Souls potentially? Yeah, it looks like it.
We're drawing a couple of cards off Souls here. It looks like the other card is Big Red?
Yeah, it's Big Red and Call by the Grave. It looked like she was passing turn, and then she's just scooping. That's it. I mean, wow, okay. That was a quick game one. Sleeper against Geist is just like,
it's so strong.
It's disgusting. Like,
well, for what it's worth, I mean, Tavon did not get here by dodging Spiral.
Of course
it's impossible.
Not. Yeah.
Like Bronder before him, I am absolutely positive that Tavon is playing a lot of really powerful equalizers that Elise's deck is woefully unprepared to face.
And now we get to see Extravagance and Spiral. Here it is.
I imagine this. You're going to activate a card, banishes half your extra deck, then she's going to summon monsters from the extra deck over the course of the turn.
I still think the most incredible thing I saw was when I was watching Dueling Book matches just in preparation for this event to just see what people were playing. I saw someone playing Extravagance Spiral, using 2 Extravagances. So
Great.
they were down to 3 cards
remaining
in the extra deck. The 3 cards specifically were...
You just showed us the hand?
Oh, my God.
That's something.
The 3 cards specifically were Double Helix, Unicorn, and Boral Sword, which is exactly what that person needed to win.
Oh, whoa. Nice call by the Grave.
Nice call by for that Droll and Lockbird.
All right. Well, it looks like we are going to have to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, it looks like it. And the
Souls.
So this is exactly what I said. I'm not sure if Elise already had the Magician Souls in her opening hand, but even if she didn't, I mean, that was just a way to get there. And now you just... Monster Reborn, full
Great.
combo.
Hey, that's it.
Yep.
So, of course, you can activate the effect of Souls to draw a couple of cards.
Correct.
Not ideal, but you can, of course, use the effect to send this copy of Master Plan with the Graveyard. Tavon's hand is looking stacked, though.
The other thing with, I would say, with the Extravagance build that's interesting is that getting those extra cards could help you achieve the God board, quote-unquote, much easier because you have more resources at your disposal, whereas normally, like with the Danger list, it's just kind of replacing themselves, right? Those extra cards off that Extravagance, though, can actually make a much bigger difference in giving you the necessary extenders to achieve that board.
For sure. Chat, I'm going to need you to count along with us. That's 3.
Does Tavion have the Nibiru?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's got the Nibiru and an evenly matched as well.
Oh, my God. He has both?
And he opened Droll. What more could you ask for?
I thought I saw an evenly, but I wasn't sure. Because evenly would be irrelevant if the God board gets achieved, because Trigate would just be able to easily dispatch that. But Nibiru, on the other hand, is much different.
So there's not like a fantastic time to Nibiru against Spiral?
There is a fantastic time. The fantastic time is any time before they can summon Appaloosa.
Yes, but there's so many extenders in this deck. I watched Elise in her game against Bronder win with a copy of Nibiru on the board because he stopped her mid-combo, and what was she going to do? Stop? No, she kept going. It's wild. All right, that's 4, chat. Tivon looking at the hand. Yeah. That summon's fine. I think she's shaking her head here.
Yeah, like Elise looks like...
You don't have it.
Elise looks like she was like studying Tavon's like poker
nonverbals
face.
here.
Yeah. Okay, going for the drone. We have yet to normal summon, ladies and gentlemen, so this will be number 5.
And, of course, that doesn't count.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be specials. All right, resort time.
No, it's summons.
Is it?
It's not yes.
No, yeah, you're right. It's summons.
Wait a minute.
You think I read cards? Come on.
All right, here comes the drone, and you have to do it here.
No.
You do, because...
No, he's waiting.
I mean, well, technically you don't have to. That's not true, because...
I mean, this is Appaloosa.
Yes, it is
You do have
Appaloosa.
to do it at the resolution of this effect, for sure.
Oh, thank you. The thing is, if okay, no,
God.
going to the double helix.
She's getting greedy.
The problem is if you didn't go to Appaloosa, how would you get to helix though? Because like.
I guess that's fair. It
I
depends
think-
on what your hand is.
Correct. Yeah, I think if she had another agent to get like quick fix
Womp.
back, and there's
Oh,
ogre for the double
too?
helix.
Wait, the hand
Was his hand all hand traps?
His hand was Ogre, Evenly, Nibiru, Droll.
Droll.
What is that 5th card?
Wow. Now the thing is, double helix will still resolve here. You just can't summon to a zone. You just have to add to hand, and in this case, Elise is just going to add sleeper, that's kind of the nice thing. It's like fine. Like, because if you still get sleeper, you feel kind of okay about it. If you don't have last resort, that's a problem. But if she has a way to access last resort, then it's like you can just literally end on sleeper pass. Oh, she had an agent. Okay.
All right, so I don't know. How much do you commit here? Bringing back the quick fix, going to activate the quick fix effect. Says yes.
Okay.
Right, that's going to get big red.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, you usually don't get last resort till later, and here it comes.
I mean, you got to wait until the big red activation. Nope.
Nope.
There's the rock.
Now,
Imagine being Elise and being like, I see. Their hand was 4 pieces of interaction.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know about the evenly yet.
the biggest problem about this, though, is Tavion has no cards to actually like progress his game state,
Unless that last card in hand is like Meluseek.
right. I mean, in that case, it's fine. But Tavion indicating where he wants the token to go. That token is barely any attack or defense, for that matter. I think it's like 2,400, 600 maybe.
Is this her going to end step?
I mean,
I think I'd wait. I mean, you've got rescue, you've got big red. Or you have big
yeah,
red
you
at least.
can, you can big red into
Master plan?
plan to get a rescue, but it depends.
She can then go into Serb. Oh, it looks like she's activating the effect of Resort.
Oh, yeah, resort to get last resort. Okay.
We did not resort over the course of this turn. Wow, we're going to actually get to end on Sleeper?
Which, like, that's fine.
Not only are we going to be able to end on Sleeper, this turns off evenly.
And it also, yeah. I was just about to say, like, I mean, the thing is, though, like, even if you evenly and you're just a sleeper, you're just, like, clearing the last resort, which is, like, that's not really, like, that big a deal.
Yeah. Oh, and the resort? I think you let the resort die here in order to get it back in the hand, however.
With the barricade board blocker?
Depends on if Elise wants to respect the 4th piece of interaction.
Well, Meluseek targets, I believe.
Meluseek does target. Yes.
Right, so that actually is relevant. So we'll have to see. I think
doesn't Last Resort prevent targeting, or just
Last
destruction?
Resort prevents targeting on the sleeper, but Resort prevents targeting on the Last Resort.
So
it's
the
like
ideal scenario for Tavon would be like attack directly with Meluseek, send Last Resort, and then figure out a way to out.
sleeper, right?
Yeah.
But again, I think I would keep the Resort because, like, I don't think Geist, especially knowing Tavon's already gone through all this. How does Geist out?
I know. I mean, you can't
Like,
respect it evenly after that much interaction.
Right. But even regardless, how does Geist, aside from, evenly, how do you out Resort, Last Resort, Sleeper? And even if they have evenly, then he's on one card.
It's true. You are correct.
There's so many decks.
She's
letting
it
it go.
destroy.
Okay.
And then putting it back in hand with the barricade
Again,
board.
that's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but wow.
And so, again, evenly is turned off because Tavion has used Nibiru.
And it's just a matter here of trying to get her to proc the effect of Sleeper.
The funniest part is Tavion could use Nibiru, attack Sleeper, and it can't die by battle.
Yeah.
So, like,
she's
she can
going to
just
take, what, 200?
200, yeah. She can just
Done.
soak the damage and then just be like, okay.
Try to figure out a way to get this Nibiru off the field. She says, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
take it. So 78. And there's a Soquidius.
Okay, so Quidius is not a playmaker.
Not at all. And there comes the Sleeper for 2, and I think Tavion
Phoenix?
No, she sleepered them both, and that's the end of his turn. Yeah.
And that is also likely the end of the game.
It should be.
And we're looking at Sleeper real quick.
Judge is just double checking here, but I don't see anything wrong on my end.
Yeah.
But the token is, what do we say? Barricade board is like 18. I think Quick Fix is like 5, and Drone's like 1. So like the token's 24.
Yeah.
So she already has, what, 5,200 damage already? You see 28 in SPYRAL. That's nothing.
Yeah. Very, very easy to assemble.
Yeah.
If I'm Tavon, I probably recognize that my deck takes about 20 minutes to win. I would try and get out of this game.
To be fair, we don't know what that last card is in his hand.
Maybe it's
If
nuts.
that's like a 5th hand trap, that would just be absurd. Not sure what they're discussing here. Looks like they're talking about like barricade board blocker.
Those of you saying evenly matched, yeah, there's one unknown.
Yes, we know Tavion has 2 cards. One is an evenly, which is irrelevant if Elise wins this turn, which it very well looks like she can.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if she cannot find lethal.
Yeah, I would be as well.
All
Going
right,
for the
there's tough.
Okay, so that's 19. So now you just need 900 more.
Well, so notably, if she can't assemble lethal, then evenly kind of loses her the game.
I wouldn't say loses her the game because she still has sleeper. So the thing is,
Do you have to keep the token?
With evenly?
Chad, I'm sure you'll know.
Yeah, I'm sure Chad will let us know. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you can just actually. I always hate this ruling. I forget. In any case, she has big red, so it doesn't matter. You get agent.
That's enough, I believe.
Yeah, this is.
You do have to keep the token.
Was that a
they say,
dark ruler? No more off the top.
Rough. A little late.
It's fine though. Like even if Tavion had dark ruler, what would he have done? Nothing. We saw Tavion had what 4 pieces of interruption essentially, and still lost.
Speaking of 4 pieces of interruption, 3 traps, pass. Go for it.
All right, Elise has extravagance. That's a good start.
Oh my!
We've been seeing a lot of extravagance.
We've seen a ton. I mean, it's in Altergeist, it's in Guru,
it's in Mystic
it's in Spiral, it's in Mystic Mind.
So Elise is going to get to draw to 7 cards here.
Wow.
That's a lot to work with.
See, but here's the deal. You know, if you don't have an explosive start with multiple negations from Tavion's side of the board, do you really want Elise to start with an extra card and the ability to not worry about stuff like evenly matched?
The thing is, we saw Tavion literally just compulsed a master plan
that did end her turn
and essentially won the game from there.
That did win the game.
To be fair, Tavion's opening board was a little bit better because he already had the multi-faker and he was already set up to essentially start establishing Hextias, just to seal up the game entirely. Once Altergeist is like snowballing into Hextia, it's like 95% of the time game over. There's the evenly.
Speaking of evenly, who's the evenly deck now, nerd? Oh my goodness.
And the reinforcement of the armory. That's huge because now
if she calls Super Agent correctly, that's the end. That's the end of the game. Oh, she's going for tough instead.
It's not even
Same
that.
deal.
Yeah, because tough. And you have to think, they're playing Altergeist.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to guess what the top card of their deck is. It's not going to be for certain, but probability will say.
There's about a 50% chance.
I would say it's higher than that. And here's the tough.
Do you have a response asking for the solemn judgments in the audience? All right. I love Tavion's just like, yeah, go for it. You won't get it.
Watch it be like a spell. Like, doesn't Altergeist only play like 3 extravagance?
I don't know.
That was always the worst feeling in like spiral mirror matches when you would call something and it was trap. Okay, strike. I like this.
Okay, well you probably have to do that. It slows her down by 1 summon, which is potentially the difference between life and death. And
he had the faker.
Okay, never mind. Now we have the ability to pop the master plan as well back to the hand, and things have taken a turn for Elise.
Yeah, this is big. The strike on the tough was enough in a way because not only just clearing the monster from the board, like if that was impermanent, I wouldn't feel as good about it, but because it was specifically strike, clearing the monster from the board, it just sets Elise back that much more. I think that was an ogre in Tavion's hand.
Show us one more time, Tavion.
Okay, so he's going to go for Meluseek, interestingly enough.
That's interesting, yeah. Just assuming that Ogre is going to be able to chew through the double helix and doesn't have to fight something like it. Ooh, I hope not, because that would be really powerful.
If it is, that's going to be crazy. The thing is, Ogre's a bit of an insurance policy because, yes, you're going for the Meluseek. I almost feel like, though, this telegraphs to Elise.
The rest of the hand's terrible.
Not terrible, but he has something else because if he went for Silquidius, that's another, disruptor. She has 1 for 1.
Shaking his head. I'm so sorry, Tavon. She has everything. So, I've been in this situation as an Altergeist pilot a lot, in which you have to summon Meluseek just because you have no follow-up otherwise.
Right.
But putting yourself off of Silquidius means that you are opening yourself up to
now,
almost everything.
I love this. So Elise knows that Tavion is playing Ogre. So what you would no, what you would do was if you knew your opponent was on Ogre, you search the Last Resort, and when you make double Helix, you equip Last Resort to double Helix, and it ensures it resolves.
You are on some absolute 2017 Spiral brain.
Absolutely. I told you I played the hell out of this deck.
Thank you for your service in that terrible format.
Yeah, I there was a lot of fallen soldiers for sure. But here we go. We have Foolish Burial for the master plan too.
And there
Her
it
hand
is.
was stacked.
Wow, this is absolutely every one of in the deck. Tavion goes, yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do about this?
So here we go. We get the master plan. Master plan searches the rescue.
All right, let's see if she plays around Ghost Ogre.
Okay, if there's no other reason in my mind you would search Last Resort this early unless you're trying to play around Ghost Ogre. And she knows he's on it.
Yeah, she saw it last
Correct, yes.
And she's going into it, of course.
We're going to double Helix. Oh, Barricade board. Okay.
First.
That's fine.
In order to send it to the graveyard.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you have double Helix for free at this point.
You also get insurance for your master plan resolution. It
Yes.
can't be ashed.
Yes, absolutely. That's where 2017 brain, is like, oh, 2 spirals, double Helix, you know. But, I just love how Barricade Blocker actually significantly bolsters how powerful this deck is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's incredible that the effect that no one ever thought they were going to use of Barricade Blocker seems to actually be pretty good when your field spell is self-destructive during the end phase.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we go. Elise can just go ahead, banish the resort. You can get back your drone.
Ooh.
Now you can ensure that your double Helix will resolve.
Going for the drone, I mean, imagine being in Tavon's position and having to contend with drone. I mean, if you don't destroy the Melusik here, if you wait for your opponent's turn to do it, you can ensure they draw dead, and yikes, that's almost lights out, even with the Ghost Ogre.
All right, so here we go, stacking the top 3. Giving Tavion the worst possible card. We have Agent as well, so now she has the other Spiral. We're going to reveal a Personal Spoofing, which will do absolutely nothing.
Personal Spoofing is not going to be very good with no Altergeists on your side of the field.
So now this is what's going to... Oh, she's actually just going to go for
Just make
Appaloosa.
Appaloosa.
Okay, that works too.
Fine.
There we go. So 3 negate Appaloosa.
So
that
this
also
is-
just plays around Ghost Ogre.
Yeah, this is extremely strong. Not only does it play around Ghost Ogre, it allows her to, at the end step, use the effect of Sleeper on itself to destroy your opponent's entire board and deny them the search off of the Melusik.
Now, and again, yeah, that's infinitely better than small brain last resorting your Helix.
Look
But
at us over here, living in 2017.
to be fair, it is a play you can do. So, if it ever comes up at your locals, if you are playing Spiral, just keep it in mind. It might come up.
Now that Spiral is a relevant deck again, I'm excited to lose to exactly that play. I'll shake my fist at the air and shout, Simo!
When you lose to it, you'll never forget it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. And so here we go. It looks like we're just going to go straight into Sleeper. And honestly, I think Appaloosa Sleeper just wraps it up.
Yeah, especially on a board like this. He gets 1 card and 1 card that's clearly not relevant.
Yep, equip the Last Resort, and that should
Says,
basically seal
have
it
a
up.
great time with these 2 cards.
Yep.
Tavon goes, well, okay, it's time to activate that. I have Appaloosa. There's
And-
Ghost Ogre, but unfortunately, it still resolves. You can have the personnel spoofing off the top of your deck, and that's going to be it.
Oh, so interesting. So Tavion actually decided to Ogre the Appaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not good enough.
Nope, not good enough. He drew...
Oh, wait. Is it actually good enough because she can't remove a counter? Oh, we're terrible.
Wait. If... Well, because Appaloosa is a once per chain.
So it's Appaloosa negating the effect of Melusik, Ghost Ogre, and then she doesn't have the attack to decrease.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
that's
that
the
what
play.
it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, that said, this doesn't outsleep her.
Right, okay. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, Tavion sells to deal with Sleeper. The deck got shuffled, so luckily for Tavion, he doesn't have to worry about drawing into personal spoofing, but if you're Altergeist, how do you out this? Like, Evenly doesn't do it. You need, like, even if you have a Kaiju, that doesn't matter, because then you still have to deal with the Kaiju.
Melusik is, fine here.
Marionetter.
Mario is good. Sorry, I'm thinking of outs. Melusik is fine just because popping it means that you get to plus, and attacking directly means that you get to send Last Resort.
Right.
But again, doesn't solve the problem.
It doesn't. So we're going to set a copy of Manifestation here.
Looking real quick, I think if you're Elise, you probably fire the Sleeper right now.
I would just wait till Tavion ends his turn, and then you just Sleeper pop both back row, assuming he sets the other card, and then
I
that's
just don't want to
game.
screw around with Mario activations.
Well, Marionetta has to target a different Altergeist, doesn't it? Or can it target itself?
I believe it can target itself.
Oh, can it target itself? Oh, okay. Well, that matters then.
Of course, it's got to actually destroy it.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, here we go. He's using the effect of Marionetta, and
it targets one in the graveyard, I believe.
correct. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and do that, and it has to destroy to resolve. Correct?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Because in response, you could technically just sleeper if that were the case.
If that's the case, I mean.
Or it looks like Tavion's trying to just decide to target here.
Yeah, you do have to. It's an and if you do.
Okay, so sleeper pretty much just finishes this then.
Mm-hmm.
Tavion taking a moment to think here. Looks like he's targeting the
She
multi-faker.
says absolutely not. No,
yeah.
I'll be destroying those two.
And yep, Elise is specifying.
He reads Mario. No, it's an and if you do, friend.
Correct.
I'm so sorry.
So those get destroyed. That last card in hand is
It's got to be nuts. It's Meilu. Meilu's good, but not good enough.
It doesn't even matter.
I mean, we do have a turn, You got the sleeper, you've got the tough, actually
this
you have 0
is 100%
turns, yeah.
over.
This is the end of the game. I'm like trying to imagine a scenario in which Tavon lives, and I can't come up with one.
Yeah, I mean, unless just Elise can't assemble the damage, but I can't see it here. And even if she can't assemble the damage, like, she has sleeper with last resort. Like, it's just like, it's so difficult for a deck like Geist to deal with this card. So here we go. She added the agent. And now we just play, can we add up to 6,500? Which is even easier, as a matter of fact, because Tavion did use a Solemn Strike in the very first turn of the game. So if she fires off the agent, that's 28 plus 19, so that's 47.
And
so
you've got a stacked graveyard
as
well.
Yeah, and you're 1,800 short. So, all right, so agent blind call, it looks like.
Trap. Yes,
yeah. Wow.
Easy.
I didn't know how you were going to pull that one off, Joseph.
Easiest game of my life.
And pitching souls for quick fix. If you're playing,
here comes quick fix.
If you're playing 2 big red, you just search the second big red. There it is, and then you just resurrect tough, and it's game over. There it is.
Wow. That is the end of the game.
And there it is. There's the handshake. Elise Davis moving into the end of Swiss at X11. So she probably made top cut, I would say.
I think undoubtedly.
Yeah.
X11, I think, is guaranteed. Shouts out to Tavon. I mean, really, really would have liked to have seen an Altergeist, but there is one other who could potentially make it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was the record of the other Altergeist player? Do you know
they were at table 1.
Oh, they were table 1, so they are
a lock.
I think they're a lock, yeah. So we're going to at least, no matter what, have an Altergeist for you guys for the top cut tomorrow. But, yeah, that's going to do it for round number 8. I can go ahead and see if I can get Elise for an interview. We want to go ahead and do that just so we got some time to kill. And then I'm not sure if we're going to get the top 16 breakdown tonight or if we're going to do it tomorrow morning. And we can maybe figure that out as well. So in any case, we're gonna do our interview, and then we'll at the very least come back for one more time for a sign off. Maybe give you guys the top cut depending on if we get the information or not. Either way, we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your round 8 winner interview of the Pro Play Tour Invitational here in Orlando, Florida. Elise Davis, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So X11, so you're guaranteed lock. How's it feel?
It feels really good. I haven't played in an event since June, so it's really nice to quick get back into the swing of things
Sure.
and just get a top right away.
Yeah.
So
how was that process? I mean, did you come straight? Was this like your first event? Were you playing on DB or how did that process happen?
I mainly played on DB and just random testing with friends at locals because I'm actually still technically banned right now.
Sure.
I'm waiting for 2 weeks for that to get taken care of. So it's just been a lot of I haven't had the same testing and everything since I used to, but, it's good enough for now. And then luckily I was playing a deck that, I was familiar with, in the olden days. We just got, one new tool via the Magician Soul.
And how do you feel about that?
That card is insane.
Yeah.
It literally just... It's the only reason why I played this deck, because I was originally going to play Orcus for this event.
Okay.
Because I had, some spicy techs I was going to do, but it's just... Spiral's too good right now.
Sure. And so you're playing the Extravagance build.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so we know there's the Extravagance build running around. There's the Danger build. There's the Scrap build as well, which is also playing Dangers, I suppose. So what was the reasoning for ending on the Extravagance build?
So I was talking with Cody Angeloff,
Sure.
and he got the list from Herman Hansen, I think.
Okay.
And so he was just testing that. They're both testing it, and they're doing extremely well with it. And the thing that's really nice about the deck is when you're not as experienced as you could be with the combo strings and stuff, you have a lot easier time of just going off because our end board is a lot different than like what most of them are.
Sure.
We usually end just Appaloosa, Sleeper, and Dweller.
Okay.
And that's going to be enough to take care of most of the meta. So it just allowed us to have a little bit more consistency so that, we weren't, losing as much to like just random bricks, and B, it just who's getting over that board normally?
Right. I mean, it's like there's a difference between like when the board does like just enough and then you have like overkill. Like, yeah, if you do the God board with like Trigate Wizard, it's cute, but it's like most of the time just like Appaloosa Sleeper is like enough in a lot of instances.
Right. It just does like enough, and you don't want to overextend because like a lot of like the non-extravagance builds, like they end with like very little cards in hand
Sure.
and a lot less like follow-up.
Yeah.
Which my deck had a lot of follow-up, which let me like grind a lot more going
Right.
into like the later rounds especially. Like it even made the back row matchup easier than it normally is. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, Sleeper Last Resort against back row decks is just like, it's free. It's so free most of the time. So going into Top Cut, how are you feeling? Is there any like person you're trying to avoid? Is there a deck you don't want to play?
Honestly, I just kind of go as I go. Like
Sure.
a player is a player.
That's
I'm used
fair.
to all of them by now. I'm probably friends with a few people that are gonna top, so it's
Of
just it's not that big of a deal. It's not my first top cut, so
Sure.
you just kind of go as you go. I mean, I'm playing one of the best decks in the room, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
if I lose, I lose.
Yeah.
So
It's fair enough. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
it. Guys, we will be right back. We're going to go ahead and just take a quick break, see if we're going to bring you guys that Top Cut breakdown. We're not sure if we're going to have that data as of yet, but we'll see. Either way, it's going to be tonight or tomorrow morning, or we'll come back and go ahead and do a final sign-off. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be right back.